Have you ever stopped to consider how much of your daily discomfort might be traced back to what you eat? For many men, the answer is more surprising than expected. Prostate discomfort isn't just about age or genetics. What you put on your plate could be quietly fueling the issue day after day. And what's most alarming? Most people have no idea it's happening. Now, before we go any further, I want to make something clear. Stay with me until the very end of this video. Because beyond the 7 foods we'll explore, I have a bonus tip, one that almost no one talks about. A powerful, natural way to boost the impact of these foods, making their anti-inflammatory effects even stronger. But it's only effective when used properly, and you'll need all the pieces to make it work. Let's get real for a moment. Prostate discomfort is far more common than people think. Frequent urination at night, that persistent pressure in the lower abdomen, or the unsettling feeling that something's just not right. It's easy to dismiss these signs as just part of getting older. But underneath those mild annoyances might be a growing inflammation, one that could interfere not just with your comfort, but with your overall well-being. And here's where things get tricky. That inflammation isn't always obvious. It doesn't scream for attention. It builds slowly, sometimes over years, as small, everyday choices accumulate. But the consequences? They can be serious. And while we're not going to dive into that just yet, let's just say, if left unaddressed, this kind of silent inflammation can take a direction no one wants to face. So, why should you keep watching? Because the difference between living with discomfort and reclaiming control over your body can be as simple as changing what's on your fork. And believe it or not, some of the best anti-inflammatory allies are sitting right in the produce section of your local grocery store. Now, here's something else that might surprise you. When it comes to fighting inflammation naturally, not all healthy foods are created equal. Some carry compounds specifically designed by nature to reduce swelling, support hormonal balance, and ease the strain on your prostate. And while most of us have heard about eating more greens or cutting down on processed foods, there are certain overlooked ingredients that go beyond general health. They directly target the biochemical pathways that drive chronic inflammation. The first of these is a food you probably recognize, but might not truly appreciate: tomatoes. Yes, the humble tomato. But not just because it's a vegetable, well, technically a fruit, that's rich in vitamins. It contains a powerful antioxidant called lycopene. Lycopene doesn't just fight off free radicals. Studies have shown it may actively reduce inflammation markers in the prostate. But here's the twist. Raw tomatoes aren't the best way to get it. Cooking them, especially in olive oil, boosts the availability of lycopene in a major way. That means your grandmother's homemade tomato sauce? Possibly one of the most prostate-friendly dishes you could eat, as long as it's made with fresh ingredients and not loaded with sugar or sodium. Tomatoes also tie into broader dietary patterns. In parts of the world where tomatoes and olive oil are consumed regularly, men tend to report lower instances of prostate issues. Coincidence? Probably not. But before you run to make a pasta dish, remember, quantity and preparation matter. Overcooking or relying on canned sauces filled with preservatives can undermine the benefits. This is where attention to detail matters more than ever. Health isn't just about what you eat. It's how you prepare it, how often, and how it fits into the rest of your lifestyle. The first step in reducing inflammation is awareness. Understanding how a simple ingredient like tomato can make a difference is empowering. And the beauty of this journey is that you don't need extreme diets or expensive supplements to make progress. Often, nature already offers what we need. We just have to know where to look. As we move forward, keep this in mind. Small changes create momentum. By starting with just one food, properly prepared, you're laying the foundation for better health. But this is only the beginning. Because the next food on our list isn't just anti-inflammatory, it actively changes how your body handles one of the biggest inflammation triggers in the modern American diet. And if you skip it, not only might you miss out on the results you're hoping for, but you could unknowingly make your symptoms worse. Let's keep going. Most people don't realize that inflammation doesn't just come from what we eat. It often comes from what we eat instead of what we should. One of the greatest threats to prostate health today isn't found in fast food wrappers or soda cans. It's in the quiet daily habits that replace healing foods with ones that slowly wear the body down. Let's take a step back. In the last chapter, we saw how something as simple and everyday as a tomato, when prepared the right way, can dramatically shift inflammation levels. But what happens when we rely too heavily on the wrong kinds of proteins, particularly processed and red meats, staples in many North American diets? Excess consumption of these foods has been linked in various studies to elevated levels of C-reactive protein, CRP, a marker of systemic inflammation in the body. CRP itself isn't the enemy. It's the smoke that signals fire. And when CRP is chronically elevated, that often includes smoldering inflammation around the prostate. But here's the catch. The solution isn't simply removing harmful foods. It's about replacing them with powerful, nourishing alternatives. And one of the most underutilized foods in this battle? Fatty fish. Wild salmon, sardines, and mackerel are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA. These are more than just trendy nutrients. They are fundamental building blocks for reducing inflammation on a cellular level. In fact, omega-3s help regulate immune response, modulate hormone production, and reduce the activity of certain compounds known to irritate the prostate. Let's make this practical. Imagine replacing a weekly red meat dinner with a simple grilled salmon fillet, seasoned with lemon, garlic, and herbs. Not only are you cutting out a common inflammatory source, but you're actively introducing anti-inflammatory compounds. The result isn't just absence of harm, it's the presence of healing. Studies have shown that men with higher levels of omega-3s in their bloodstream tend to report fewer lower urinary tract symptoms, a common indicator of prostate stress. And while supplements exist, the real power is in whole foods, because those come with a synergistic mix of vitamins, minerals, and other antioxidants. There's something else to consider. Fatty fish doesn't just reduce inflammation. It may also help correct a deeper imbalance caused by too many omega-6 fats in the modern diet. Common cooking oils, fried foods, and many processed snacks are loaded with omega-6. In small amounts, these fats are essential. But the modern imbalance, where we consume up to 20 times more omega-6 than omega-3, tips the scale toward chronic inflammation. So by eating more fatty fish, you're not just adding in a good thing. You're actively helping to restore a balance your body has been craving, one that supports hormonal regulation, cardiovascular health, and yes, prostate comfort. There's a cultural element here too. In Mediterranean and Japanese diets, both rich in oily fish, rates of prostate inflammation and disease are notably lower. These aren't isolated cases. They reflect dietary patterns rooted in balance and variety, things that many American meals sorely lack. Now, a quick word of caution. Not all fish are created equal. Farm-raised varieties often have lower levels of omega-3s and may contain additives or contaminants. So when possible, go for wild-caught options. And don't fall into the trap of overcooking. Gentle baking or grilling preserves nutrients far better than heavy frying. The science is clear. The shift doesn't require overhauling your diet overnight. It starts with a swap, a conscious, deliberate replacement of something inflammatory with something healing, a small step that speaks volumes over time. So if you've been feeling sluggish, noticing changes in bathroom habits, or just sensing that your body isn't operating at its best, this is a moment to listen. To take note of what your meals are telling your body each day. Because the next food in this list, it's unlike the others. It's not just rich in anti-inflammatory compounds. It supports one of the most overlooked systems connected to prostate health. Miss it, and you may be missing the link that connects what you eat to how your hormones behave, and that can lead to deeper imbalances that go far beyond the prostate. Let's dive deeper. What if a small deficiency, something you barely notice in your day-to-day life, was quietly interfering with your body's ability to manage inflammation? When we think about inflammation and prostate discomfort, the focus often goes to foods high in fat or sugar. But there's a silent partner in this process, and its absence can make even the healthiest diets less effective. We're talking about magnesium. It's a mineral that plays a critical role in over 300 biochemical reactions in the body. Yet, it's estimated that nearly half of the adult population in North America doesn't get enough of it. And here's the kicker. Low magnesium levels have been linked to increased inflammation and higher levels of oxidative stress, two major contributors to prostate discomfort. It's easy to overlook magnesium because it works in the background. Unlike vitamins that you might associate with energy or immune strength, magnesium works more like an internal regulator. It supports nerve function, muscle relaxation, and hormonal balance. And most importantly in our case, it has a direct impact on the immune system's inflammatory response. A fascinating study revealed that men with higher magnesium intake had significantly lower levels of C-reactive protein, a key marker of inflammation. That's not a coincidence. Magnesium helps your body control its inflammatory reaction, keeping it in check instead of letting it spiral into chronic discomfort. So where can you get this underrated mineral? One of the richest sources is pumpkin seeds. Just a small handful delivers a meaningful dose of magnesium, plus other prostate-friendly nutrients like zinc and antioxidants. And because they're easy to add to oatmeal, salads, or just enjoy as a snack, they're a convenient daily addition. Spinach is another magnesium powerhouse. Lightly steaming spinach can make the magnesium more bioavailable without losing its nutritional punch. And if you're someone who enjoys smoothies, blending spinach with fruits like banana or blueberries gives you a nutrient-dense combination that supports prostate health on multiple levels. There's a deeper layer to all this. When your body is low on magnesium, it doesn't just miss out on anti-inflammatory protection. It can also struggle with regulating testosterone and other hormones. That hormonal disruption can make the prostate more sensitive to inflammatory triggers, creating a cycle that's hard to break without nutritional support. Many North American diets are heavy in processed foods, which are often stripped of magnesium during manufacturing. And while supplementation can be useful in certain cases, the most effective, safest approach is to increase intake through whole foods. Whole foods offer a range of co-nutrients that work together to improve absorption and overall health impact. Here's something practical. Try replacing one processed snack per day with a magnesium-rich alternative. Instead of chips or crackers, reach for a small portion of roasted pumpkin seeds. Make a magnesium-rich salad with spinach, avocado, and a sprinkle of sesame seeds. It's these small substitutions that, over time, compound into real change. And the results go beyond just the prostate. Improved sleep, reduced muscle tension, better energy levels, all of these are connected to optimal magnesium status. The mineral is like an invisible support beam holding the structure of your health together. When it's weak, everything else becomes more vulnerable. But when it's strong, your body is more resilient, more responsive to other anti-inflammatory efforts, and better equipped to restore balance where it matters most. So the question becomes, are you unintentionally sabotaging your progress by overlooking something as essential and as easy to fix as magnesium? Rebuilding your intake doesn't require a dramatic shift, just smarter choices made consistently. And yet, as powerful as magnesium is, it still operates best as part of a team. The next food we'll talk about not only reduces inflammation, but directly interferes with one of the key hormonal signals involved in prostate enlargement. Missing it doesn't just slow your progress, it could allow inflammation to gain ground when you least expect it. Let's get into it. In the search for natural solutions to chronic inflammation, one nutrient stands out, not just for its anti-inflammatory powers, but for its unique influence on hormones that directly affect the prostate. It's not a vitamin or even a mineral. It's a type of fat that many people have been told to avoid for years. And yet, used correctly, it may hold the key to rebalancing the body in ways modern medicine is only beginning to understand. Let's talk about monounsaturated fats. While the term might sound clinical, their role in your body is anything but cold or distant. Found in foods like avocados, olives, and certain nuts, monounsaturated fats are deeply involved in regulating hormone levels, including testosterone, which plays a critical role in prostate function. Hormonal balance is often overlooked in conversations about inflammation. But for men, especially those over 40, testosterone fluctuations can lead to imbalances that worsen prostate discomfort. When testosterone isn't processed efficiently, it can convert into a more aggressive form called DHT, dihydrotestosterone, which is known to contribute to prostate enlargement and increased inflammation. Here's where monounsaturated fats come in. These fats support healthy hormone metabolism. They help the body use testosterone more efficiently, reducing the amount that's converted into DHT. This hormonal support system helps to relieve pressure on the prostate, reduce inflammation, and maintain a healthier internal balance. Avocados are a standout source. Just half an avocado contains a rich blend of monounsaturated fats, fiber, and plant sterols, all of which contribute to reducing inflammation and improving lipid profiles. And because avocados also help your body absorb fat-soluble nutrients like vitamin E, they amplify the effect of other anti-inflammatory foods in your diet. Olive oil is another major player. Extra virgin olive oil, when consumed raw or lightly warmed, contains powerful polyphenols in addition to healthy fats. These compounds not only reduce inflammatory markers, but also protect against oxidative stress, another factor linked to prostate discomfort. But there's something essential to understand. Not all fats labeled healthy deliver the same benefits. Commercial oils marketed as heart-friendly can be overly processed and stripped of their natural compounds. That's why it's crucial to choose cold-pressed, unrefined sources whenever possible. The quality of fat you consume matters just as much as the quantity. It's also worth mentioning nuts, like almonds and hazelnuts. In moderation, they provide a solid source of monounsaturated fats, along with magnesium and vitamin E, two nutrients we've already connected to inflammation reduction. A small handful of raw, unsalted nuts a few times per week can have a compounding positive effect. Now, here's where it all ties together. Monounsaturated fats don't work in isolation. Their benefits multiply when combined with a diet rich in vegetables, lean proteins, and low in processed sugars. This synergy is what helps shift your internal environment from one that promotes inflammation to one that resists it. And if you've ever wondered why Mediterranean-style diets are consistently linked to lower rates of chronic disease, this is a major reason. It's not just about eating olive oil. It's about creating a pattern of nourishment that favors balance and healing. So what does this look like in practice? Start simple. Add sliced avocado to your breakfast. Drizzle olive oil over roasted vegetables. Swap butter for a modest portion of nut, spread on whole grain toast. These are not drastic overhauls, they're sustainable habits. By consciously choosing sources of monounsaturated fat, you're not only easing inflammation, you're supporting your endocrine system, protecting your cardiovascular health, and giving your body the tools to heal naturally. And when done consistently, the impact on prostate health can be profound. Still, there's one catch. These fats need to be balanced carefully within your diet. Overdoing it, even with healthy fats, can backfire if you're not mindful of portion sizes and overall caloric intake. This is why understanding your body's needs and responses is so important. And here's the part that's critical. If you skip this step, even the most powerful anti-inflammatory foods may not work as intended. Hormonal imbalances can override the benefits you're trying to create. That's why the next tip is essential, because it focuses on preparation. Not just what you eat, but how you cook it. And if you're doing it wrong, you may be unknowingly turning healing foods into hidden threats. Even the healthiest foods can fail you if you don't prepare them right. It's one of the most overlooked truths in nutrition. We often spend so much time choosing the right ingredients, researching their benefits, and loading our plates with so-called superfoods that we forget the critical step in between: preparation. How you cook, combine, and store your food can mean the difference between reducing inflammation and accidentally making it worse. Take cruciferous vegetables, for example. These include broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and kale, foods often praised for their cancer-fighting and hormone-balancing properties. What many people don't realize is that their most powerful compound, sulforaphane, isn't present in the raw plant. It's created through a chemical reaction when the vegetable is chopped or chewed and then briefly steamed or lightly cooked. Sulforaphane has been shown in numerous studies to help neutralize harmful toxins, reduce oxidative stress, and regulate inflammatory pathways in the body. This is especially significant for prostate health, as the prostate is highly sensitive to oxidative stress and hormonal imbalance, both of which sulforaphane can help manage. But here's the catch. High heat cooking destroys the enzyme that triggers sulforaphane formation. So if you boil broccoli until it's soft or sauté kale until it wilts to nothing, you're losing the very compound your body needs. The preparation method turns a potentially therapeutic food into little more than fiber. So how do you unlock the power of these vegetables? Steam them lightly, just enough to brighten the color and soften the texture slightly. Or chop them and let them sit for a few minutes before cooking, giving the enzyme time to activate. Another tip is to add a pinch of raw mustard seed powder after cooking, which contains the same enzyme and can reactivate sulforaphane production even after heat exposure. This might sound like a small detail, but the impact is profound. One study showed that properly prepared broccoli had 3 to 5 times more sulforaphane than broccoli that was overcooked. That's not a marginal difference. That's the line between food as medicine and food as filler. Another important preparation mistake to avoid involves oils. Many healthy oils, like olive oil or flaxseed oil, lose their nutritional properties when exposed to high heat. Cooking with them at high temperatures not only degrades their structure, but can produce harmful oxidation byproducts. Instead, use heat-stable oils like avocado oil or ghee for cooking, and reserve delicate oils for drizzling or finishing dishes. Even something as simple as the timing of your meals can affect how your body processes inflammation. Eating late at night, for instance, has been shown to increase inflammatory markers, disrupt hormone cycles, and negatively affect prostate function in the long run. Try to have your last meal at least 2 to 3 hours before bed to give your body time to digest and reset. The truth is, your kitchen habits are just as important as your grocery list. Preparation is a signal to your body. It tells your cells what to expect, how to respond, and whether to fight or heal. If you prepare your food with care, intention, and understanding, you're not just eating, you're nourishing. And this is where many people unintentionally sabotage their progress. They buy organic, eat their greens, cut out sugar, but they cook everything the wrong way. Or they forget that timing, combinations, and temperature matter. The body is not just a storage unit for nutrients, it's a living system that responds to everything you do. So if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, but not seeing the results, this might be your missing piece. Fixing it isn't complicated, but it does require awareness and consistency, because what comes next is the final piece to this puzzle. A food that not only reduces inflammation, but when combined with the right preparation techniques, acts as a natural modulator of your immune system. Ignore it, and you risk leaving your progress half-finished. Worse, you may continue feeding the very inflammation you're trying to reduce, without realizing it. There's one natural food that brings together everything we've explored so far: anti-inflammatory power, hormone balance, preparation sensitivity, and immune support. And yet, it remains one of the most underused allies in the fight against prostate discomfort. It's a food with ancient roots, revered in traditional cultures for centuries, but only recently studied in modern nutritional science. And when prepared properly, its impact is not just measurable, it's transformative. We're talking about turmeric. This vibrant golden spice, most commonly found in Indian and Southeast Asian cuisine, contains a compound called curcumin. Curcumin is one of the most potent anti-inflammatory agents known in nature. It works by blocking the molecules that signal inflammation in the body, reducing the activation of pathways that often go unchecked in chronic conditions, including those affecting the prostate. But here's what most people get wrong. Turmeric on its own is poorly absorbed by the body. In fact, if you just sprinkle it over food without proper preparation, your body may only absorb a tiny fraction of its active compounds. That's why understanding how to use turmeric effectively is just as important as knowing its benefits. To unlock curcumin's full potential, it needs 2 things: fat and black pepper. The piperine in black pepper enhances curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%, while dietary fats help transport it into the bloodstream. That's why traditional recipes, like golden milk or turmeric curry, are so powerful. They naturally combine all 3 elements in a bioavailable form. When consumed regularly, properly prepared turmeric can help modulate immune response, balance inflammatory signals, and even support detoxification in the liver, which plays a key role in hormone processing. And because the prostate is highly influenced by both immune and hormonal factors, turmeric's dual action support makes it uniquely effective. But there's more. Turmeric also acts as a natural antioxidant, neutralizing harmful free radicals that can damage cells and tissues over time. This is particularly important in aging men, as oxidative stress is a known contributor to prostate enlargement and discomfort. Let's make this practical. One simple way to incorporate turmeric is through a daily warm drink, mixing half a teaspoon of turmeric with a pinch of black pepper and a teaspoon of coconut oil or almond milk. Warm it gently and drink it before bed or in the morning. This ritual not only supports inflammation control, but can improve digestion and sleep quality as well. You can also use turmeric in soups, roasted vegetables, or mixed into hummus or salad dressings. The key is consistency and correct combination. A little turmeric, prepared properly and consumed regularly, can create a steady stream of anti-inflammatory support that builds over time. There's a deeper message here. Healing isn't just about reacting to symptoms. It's about changing the environment in which those symptoms arise. By creating a daily routine that includes foods like turmeric, you're sending a powerful signal to your body to calm down, to repair, and to restore balance. And let's not forget the bonus tip we promised at the very beginning. Among all the strategies we've discussed, there's one simple addition that can amplify the effects of every single food we've covered: herbal tea made from nettle leaf and ginger. This combination works synergistically with turmeric and other anti-inflammatory foods to support urinary flow, reduce swelling, and provide gentle detoxification. Steep a teaspoon of dried nettle leaves and a few slices of fresh ginger in hot water for 10 minutes. Drink it once or twice a day, ideally between meals. It's simple, safe, and when used consistently alongside the right foods, it can accelerate your progress in ways that are both measurable and deeply felt. Remember, no single food will cure or prevent disease on its own. But when you choose your ingredients carefully, prepare them properly, and stay consistent, the results speak for themselves. You have more control over your health than you might think. Each small change compounds. Each intentional meal becomes an act of self-care. And each new piece of knowledge gives you the power to live with more comfort, clarity, and confidence. If this journey inspired you or helped in any way, consider passing it forward. Share this knowledge, start a conversation, or simply take the next step in your own healing. And if you want more content like this, make sure to stay connected, because your health is worth investing in and your body is always listening.